The Neon Demon is a hard-house thriller movie directed by Nicolas Winding Refn and starring Elle Fanning, Jena Malone, Abbey Lee and Bella Heathcote. There was a time when I disliked hard-house movies, making a movie with the primary goal of being artistic, rather than telling a compelling or enjoyable story, just didn't make that much sense to me. However, recently I've been starting to respect them more and more. Still, I have a love-hate relationship for Nicolas Winding Refn, and the last movie of his that I saw, Only God Forgives, was a huge disappointment and in my opinion one of the worst movies that I've ever seen. However, right now I actually want to rewatch it because probably I was just too harsh on it, probably I watched it at the wrong time, but still, what do I think of The Neon Demon? Well, it has all the trademarks of the director. You have gorgeous cinematography, excellent use of color, very serious tone, mostly monotone acting, electronic soundtrack by Cliff Martinez, and very disturbing sequences. I definitely like this movie a lot, even if it isn't really enjoyable like most mainstream movies, but still, it is way more focused than Only God Forgives. I was surprised actually by how much Nicolas Winding Refn restrained himself by not using blood and gore for 90% of the movie, even though the third act just goes balls to the wall crazy, especially in the last few minutes, and they were weird and fucked up. But still, I've seen worse. Right now I've seen worse. The acting is very hard to discuss in this movie, especially compared to the other ones by Nicolas Winding Refn, because most of the characters are deliberately lifeless and monotone, because this movie is about the fashion industry. So, who do we have here? Elle Fanning. She was pretty convincing as this young, wannabe fashion model who is actually smarter than she looks. Then you have Abbey Lee and Bella Heathcote, who look like vampires, and they are creepy as hell. Watching them, always staring in the background at Elle Fanning, going with pure hatred because she's the new girl, she's young, she's beautiful, and they don't like that. And then we also have these very small roles, Keanu Reeves and Christina Hendricks. They were pretty good. Keanu Reeves is in about 3 or 4 really short scenes, Christina Hendricks is in just one. I was surprised. And there aren't many male characters, it's actually kind of the opposite, and that was the point of the director. Usually in this type of thriller horror movies, you have a female supporting cast that just is there to serve the plot. And here, it's actually the male cast that is used to serve the plot. It's pretty cool, actually. And in my opinion, of all the actresses, the standout was definitely Jena Malone. Not only is she, in my opinion, personally, the prettiest of all of them, I don't know why, and she shows a lot of emotions, and she does some pretty weird and unusual things. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. But she was great, in my opinion, pretty great. As far as the story goes, there are some aspects that I found very intriguing, and I spent the entire rest of the afternoon looking through the internet, looking for interviews and the analysis of the movie just to make sense of a couple of scenes. And it actually worked somehow. I usually don't really like that, having to document myself, but in the moment it kinda worked, because it's just so surreal, this movie, and definitely not for everyone. But after I watched it, I wanted to know what a couple of scenes meant, and while it's still pretty ambiguous, what the director said makes a lot more sense after having watched the movie. So, if you've seen the movie and really don't know what happened, try reading a couple of interviews, they will help a lot. Even so, some scenes were just completely random in my opinion, and there are a couple of shots that just drag for so long, and this is a 2-hour movie. And it could have been around 90 minutes, 100 minutes long, if they just had cut certain scenes earlier, because I know that it's to create the atmosphere, the mood the director loves, slow motion movement and whatever, but still, boy, just watching someone getting paint all over their body slowly, very slowly, and then he changes angle, it's on the neck, still on the neck, and it goes on for around 5 minutes. Ooh, it brings nothing to the plot in that situation. We understand what's happening, okay, you can skip to the next scene, you just have to do everything so slowly. So I would actually love to see if someone makes a fan edit that's just like the 90-minute version, which has shorter scenes. That would be great, honestly. So overall, if you like art house or Nicolas Winding Refn movies, you're probably going to like this one. It's pretty easy. I found it way more enjoyable than Only God Forgives. It's not as mainstream or as interesting even as Drive, but still I think you should check it out if you like the genre. And I wouldn't mind rewatching it before the end of the year, before making my top 10 lists or whatever, because I just feel like it. I didn't hate myself watching it, which is weird, which is very weird. And also you must be aware that the 20 last minutes of the movie have some fucked up shit. I'm kinda used to it, I've seen very fucked up movies recently, so it's just like, okay, that's happening. Gross, but still, if you are into more mainstream, not really all that gory or nudity heavy movies, you're probably gonna have to skip this one, because the last minutes are something else. Still, less disturbing than the torture scene in Only God Forgives. That one gave me nightmares. But still, guys, have you seen The Neon Demon? Do you want to see it? And also, which one is your favorite Nicolas Winding Refn movie? Mine is Drive, but I also really like Valhalla Rising. But still, thanks as always for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.